Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's David Palmer, the Leo King. I thought I'd make this video to talk directly to the camera, to people, especially regarding the statements I made concerning UAC, ISAR, the organizations in the astrological community. I want to first off say that I can be a hothead. I definitely, when I can go on a rant, I'll go on a rant, and I'm very facetious. You know, I take something I think serious and I make very extreme, very bombastic, comedic style analogies. And I really don't have a filter. And it's one of my great lessons this life. So I want to apologize for offending anybody in any of the communities, and especially the UAC, if I made announcements that were very derogatory and negative speaking. For my experience of some of the events that I've gone through, in a collective amount of events that I've gone through in these communities. Because personally, I was upset, I said these things, and you know, when you have a platform like I do and you have an audience, sometimes you can feed off that, right? And there is a part of me that, of course, wants to target these issues that are dealing with these organizations and how I feel that they're not serving the astrological community at large, or it's an exclusive club that unfortunately has somewhat of a kind of under the radar, doesn't want to talk about it, but very subjective to who's allowed in and who's considered a quote-unquote astrologer. And I felt like I went on the defense to defend that there are so many great astrologers out there that these organizations and that the UAC, which really is just a combination of all these organizations, don't seem to want to look at. Now, to clear up the air of what I meant about the UAC and about the email and about the timeline. So Michael Erlewine is the one who sent me a link saying, I think you need to be a speaker. In 2012, I went to the UAC and worked for Matrix Software. I worked for Michael Erlewine. He's one of the greatest astrologers in the world, I believe. And I don't want to involve him in any of this, and I want to say that very clear, because this has nothing to do with him. But he had told me that I need to talk at UAC. Here's the link. Do it. I didn't go to the website. I didn't do anything. I emailed my I don't even know what to email. I just said, hey, I'm David Palmer. Here's all my information. Love to be a speaker. Here's all the conferences I've done. Whatever. Sent it away. I got responded to saying, oh, you've missed the deadline. And I didn't even know there was a deadline, right? I just am following. And I'm like, oh, well, so I even tried to explain, like, well, listen, Michael Erlewine, you know, I worked with him at UAC. I know he's a veteran speaker. He recommended that I did it. Maybe you want to look over my stuff again just to see if you want to do it. I can offer a lot to the organization, offer ticket sales, offer all these things. And I got told, sorry, long story short, I missed the deadline. And that isn't why I'm upset. That's not why I'm upset. I just thought that what I mean of being weak, because Chris Brennan wants to really hash out that weak part. What I thought is weak is, I would think that, and this isn't about me or the kind of person I am or the following I am, I would just think that when people are trying to enter into these things, it's a lot more than being a speaker. It's more like, is there any way that I could help boost any of the sales, whether I come through and promote for it or help in any way? I got an email because, of course, the only way to get into UAC is I had to buy a booth. I get emails asking how I can contribute a gift to give away and spend money. So I wrote back saying, well, there's a lot of ways that we could try and figure out something. Nobody got back to me. So when I say that my answers have been weak, the answers have been weak as far as the offerings that I've made through emails and through exchanges to try and offer not only assistance, but offer some awesome ways that I believe that the community can upgrade. After being a worker in 2012, somebody who worked at a booth, spent the whole UAC 2012, went and saw lectures, and realized, oh, this really isn't going anywhere to the larger community at large of astrology. And there's a lot of astrologers out there who want to learn astrology and want to be more, influenced by it and want to be around these astrologers, you got to look at it a little bit like Comic-Con or any of these other conventions where the personalities, the authors, the people, they come to these conventions and the people come to see them, whether they want to learn. It doesn't matter if they're not a comic and they don't know how to write a comic, right? It's the fans. They want to learn maybe. Maybe this is their passion. Astrology is a passion for people. I just think it's weak that the UAC is an exclusive club of just astrologers wanting to talk to other astrologers and present to other astrologers. That's it. Like, I get it if it's a conference about, conferences. But you know what? I just am a believer that there's so much more that could be done at these things. That's what I meant by weak. Yes, the rules state, I guess, that new speakers that have never spoke at UAC had a deadline. I didn't know that. And you know what? You can even read the emails. Ask. I think the lady's name is Lauren. Like, I literally wrote an email like I didn't even realize. Like, I really did not. I did not. So unfortunately, that happened, and I'm cool with living without being a speaker. This actually all started with a question on a post I made, which I took down because I just am like, I just don't, it's just been a very horrible and very, very like just not fun event that I didn't even realize that I would start. And yes, I know I'm the one I started it, but it all started with me being like, why do I have an ISAR membership if I pay for a member, and this is only now targeting ISAR, I'm not a member of the other ones. But anyways, it's like, what's the whole point of a membership? It's like when somebody purchases a membership, like somebody buys a membership to my app, they know they're getting horoscopes on the app. They're getting notifications every day. There's a fact section on what you get, what the issues are, who you can contact. Like, you just join and that's it. There's no email saying what you're going to do, what's it about, or anything. So I asked, like, what's the whole point in having it? And then I connected it with UAC being like, well, you'd think if you're an astrologer and you're doing great things in the community and you're reaching out to other people and doing interviews for people and pushing positivity for astrology all throughout the world, doing things on television, creating apps, you'd think maybe as a member of one of these organizations that they would talk to you or want to have you help them with anything that they need. Like, I feel like there's just a non-communication aspect at all, and that's what I mean about weak, and that these organizations are just run very old school. I've brought up about technology and interacting with fans and people and connecting people and building a base and making astrology impact the world. We all know that astrology, unfortunately, has this ugly kind of redheaded stepchild aspect to it where a lot of people, whenever they hear the term astrology, think that you're a quirk or a quack, and a lot of it is because of the way that, unfortunately, the presentation of astrologers in these communities and how they present their astrology are. It's like learning how to live in 2017 and 2018 and how you present yourself to the world. Like, you can't change the world without knowing how to connect to the world. And I'm a big believer in that. And that's part of my gripe as well. I've had some awesome talks with Samuel Reynolds. Like, that guy is the man. That guy is the man. That guy, I've met him in person. I think he's great. There's a lot of amazing people out there. And I never try to target any individual person in any of the comments that I made about this that I thought were bad. It's just more of the vibe and the feeling, and especially if you watch, I posted the YouTube video of the UAC 2012 on the news for Fox. They made the astrology conference look like it was a joke. And it was because of how people respond and how they act. And so, there's a little bit of a how to present this to where people want to enjoy it and they like it. Astrology is a massive, not only business, but it is a massive, awesome undertaking by millions and millions of people. But how come when I look at all these groups and all these astrology, I mean, we're talking about like the UAC has 800 followers on Facebook. I hate to say like, oh, it's not about followers or anything, but it's like, where's the reach to people? There's people out there that want to be part of it. There's people that can help. And all I did was want to start that conversation. I know I'm an extreme extreme Leo. I'm an extreme bombastic personality. People think I'm a narcissistic, egotistical maniac, and you can think that all day that you want. I know who I am. My family knows who I am. The people that watch me know who I am. And that's all that matters to me. And even the astrologers that I connect with in the community that know me know who I am. And I can live with that. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry. And at the end of the day, I think there's pain somewhere deep inside of myself that I feel like not only myself, but a lot of the astrologers who went in this new hybrid direction don't get accepted. Not literally, but it's the undercurrent of, oh, he's too flashy, or he's too bombastic, he's too showy, he's been in Hollywood, he does e-television, he does this, he's reality. So, I don't know. And there's a couple people that I've actually gone to lunch with that are astrologers, and I won't name them, who I just unfriended on Facebook, people connected to an astrology podcast show that act that way towards me. They never liked me, they never wanted to like me, they never gave me a chance, and it was because of that. And so, I just am putting it all out there on the table, on video. I'm apologizing for how I said the things that I said in such an extreme manner. And I'm going to move on from here. And I hope that the astrology community can move on from here too. I've said my piece. I've said the things that I feel like would make the astrology community better. I've made my recommendations to Samuel. And I think Laura or Lauren from the UAC has heard them and seen them in the Facebook aspect of it all. So I've done what I can, and I've said what I've said, and I'm sorry if it offended some people along the way and offended the organizations. Never meant to truly hurt people, but sometimes in the heat of the moment, and especially me, it was more of a comedic action. And unfortunately, the facetious that I take as a personality is very extreme, and that's why a lot of people watch me. It's because they think it's funny. But I know that unfortunately, a lot of the groups that are in the astrology community, they're not on that table, or they're not on that line, and I get that. And I have a lot of my own. I'm not perfect, you know? Not perfect. I'm not a perfect person. I have failures every day. I fail at so many things, and all I can do is try to make them right, apologize, and move on, and learn from it and be better, and be the best I can to inspire people every day, and make people feel happy. And it looks like I didn't do that in this aspect. So I've learned a lot from it. And I hope that you all accept that apology. And I'm sending you all my best.